If you are an electrician focusing on growing your business through social media, what are the things that you have to post or do on social media to create really good results? And my name is Jonathan Lindsay. I've brought in over 500,000 views in the first 10 days for each of the clients that I've worked with so far. We average about 1 million views per month for each of the contractors that we work with at the moment, and that is about 33,000 views per day on average. Now, as context, most contractors, even with marketing agencies, will get between 300 and 10,000 views per video, and they'll post 8 to 20 times a month. If you post on the really aggressive end of that, you're getting 10,000 views for each video and you post 20 times a month. That would mean we'd still get 5 times better results than other contractors. And if you're on the lower end, we'd get 416 times better results than other contractors. But at the end of the day, as a contractor, as somebody who's running a business, you should not be focused on views. You should be focused on the money that it makes you. And so this is what we've seen for the contractors that we have worked with. We've seen one of our contractors who has gotten projects that are 5 times his average size. He's gone from $50,000 projects to $250,000 project because of the reputation from their organic presence. Another contractor that we worked with has gotten 595 new estimate requests in the last 3 months because of what I'm about to show you today. So this stuff is super, super powerful. I'll give you a couple of ideas. I want to give you ideas that you can take and you can implement on your own. Now, hearing this, some of you guys might be looking for a silver bullet, something that will magically work to fix your social media trends to follow. You might be looking for how to make social media content that's very pretty, or a way to create social media content with no effort on your end. If you're looking for that, then this video is not for you. This is for people who are willing to put in some attention and actually apply some of these things that I show you. And number one, I'll talk about how building trust on social media actually works. Number two, I'll talk about the psychology that drives people to want to watch the videos. And number three, I'll show you what psychology guarantees people will keep watching your videos. And ultimately, how to build trust so that you can actually make money from your social media instead of just posting into this black hole and getting 0 results. So I think that this should be extremely valuable. And then at the end, I'm going to also audit one of the companies that I've talked with. I don't work with them, and give them some suggestions that you guys can use as electricians to maybe see something that somebody else is doing, and then maybe use it to be able to create better content for yourself. And number one, I think something important to focus on is for most of the people who do big projects, they're thinking about the questions and planning out these projects months in advance. Now, obviously, it's an emergency, then it's not going to be as far in advance. But if it is a bigger, like higher end projects, then usually they are decided in advance. And so most companies will focus on the people who are ready to make the decision. And I think it's kind of insane that people do not focus on the 90% of buyers who are not quite ready to buy yet. And so our goal, the way that I focus on creating social media content for my contractors, is by focusing on the 12 to 36 months, or maybe it's a little bit shorter for electricians. Maybe it's like 4 months or 3 months. But the time before they're ready to make the decision, where 90% of buyers are, but there's very little competition. And so what they've found in studies is that in big ticket decisions, buyers will usually start with a vendor in mind 92% of the time. In another study, the vendor ranked first won 80% of the time, and in a different study, they've won 71% of the time. And so with this data, if there's something that you do, and you were like building trust throughout this whole process so that you could win 80 to 71% of the time, it seems like it would be a little bit of a no-brainer to focus on those things. And so that is the principle I'm going to teach you today. How do you build trust with people on social media so that when they're ready to do a project, you are the no-brainer option, and they're willing to spend thousands or tens of thousands or even up to hundreds of thousands of dollars to work with your company instead of another one. And the first thing that I want to talk about is the hard truth about content, and that each video you are posting is either creating trust or destroying it. It takes effort to watch a video, and if people get more out of it than what they put in, then the difference is the trust created. If people feel like they put effort into watching a video and then they feel like it's a waste of time, then it's negative and trust is destroyed. And so we have to make sure all the videos we're posting are actually building trust with people over time. And how do you do that? And the thing that I've found, like what makes people actually want to watch your videos, is by focusing on the right topics. Now, there's lots of topics that you focus on as a contractor. You focus on dancing content, like showing off like your work. You focus on funny content. And the thing that I've found that performs insanely better than any other results is focusing on the questions that your customers have. And when you're always focused on other people and focused on your customer story, instead of showing off your work and how great we are, then it sets you apart from every single contractor in the industry who is always bragging and showing off how great they are. And so this gives you this gets you miles ahead. As an electrician, you're going to have much better odds of winning these jobs. So you think about it, even as like an electrician, like you've had like your last 10 sales meetings. What were the common questions that people had throughout all of those meetings? And write those down. I would think about writing down 25 different questions. That's how much, like if you want to like film all of your content at once, we try to film all of our content at once with our contractors so that they don't have to like worry about this like every single week. If you want to film this all at once, then think about 25 questions that are the most important questions that your customers have. And then think about a couple that they never ask, but they should be asking. And the reason for this is when you're answering the questions that are obvious, that everybody has and everybody wants to know, then you're going to build trust. But if you could show them the questions that are not obvious, that not everybody is asking, and that not everybody talks about, then you become the expert. And that's what we want you to be, is when you're the expert, then everybody's going to trust you and be way more likely to work with you. So that's the first thing. And I'll show you an example of this. So this is one of our clients. These are some of the videos that we've posted for the last couple of months, or last couple of weeks for him. And so the videos that we've posted for the last couple of weeks, not everyone performs crazy, but we've got 80,000, 146,000 views, 332,000 views, 80,000 views, 60,000 views. And all of it focuses around a similar format. It's all focused on the questions that people would have. And so if you look at these videos, all of them start off the same. And I'll be pointing at something and asking like about that thing. And that is what creates like the question in people's head. And people, like, it's like human psychology. People always want to know answers to questions. And so if you present a good question, people are going to watch through the end to know the answer to that question. Now that's the first thing. The second thing is we have to make it engaging enough that people keep on watching and people don't zone out. If you deliver the value in a way that's not engaging, then people are going to zone out. Now, a lot of people are like, well, I don't look good on camera. I don't know like how to say the right things. And that's the power of this next step. And what you want to do is you want to be obsessed with retention. And the worst part about creating content is when you create a video, you put a lot of effort into it, but then it ends up getting no views. And you've put in a lot of effort and then it just doesn't pay off. And it feels random whether your videos will perform and crush it or just not do very well. And so that's why we approach like this part of the process in a completely different way. Most people edit once, we'll edit 5 different times and test different things. So one of the most powerful things that you can test that will get 10x to 100x results is testing the on-screen text. And the on-screen text is essentially creating that question or opening the loop in the viewer's mind of like, oh, what is going to happen in this video? So if you look at these videos, these ones all have on-screen text that gets the person to think about the question. So the detail that separates good from great. Well, what is the detail that separates good from great? And he kind of starts talking about it. But that's really powerful. Corrugated pipe, the villain, rain drain, and then the hero. So that probably is not like the most crazy on screen text, but when we tested like 5 different videos, this is the one that performed. Like, this is not something that I probably intuitively would have thought would have performed better. But because we've tested 5 different times, and we tested 5 different versions of the video, we were able to find the one that performed the best and then publish that one. And so when you're posting and testing like lots of different content and seeing how each one performs, then you're able to get the best data on what will continue to perform well. Now, the other thing that's really important about this is the B-roll. B-roll is just a video that kind of shows behind the scenes and shows like something going on in the background. I found the best B-roll, and I'll show you some examples of B-roll. let's see. That one doesn't have the most B-roll. Let's see. There's kind of like different pointing. And so one of the things that's most powerful is just cutting it. And like, this is maybe the principle behind B-roll. If you're cutting to different videos and cutting like what's happening on the screen is changing every 2 seconds, then people are much more likely to pay attention. Now you have it too much where it's like flash, like they can't even track what's going on. But when you have like something where it's changing every couple of seconds, then it's way more engaging for people to watch. And then even if you don't have the most interesting way of sharing the information, people are still engaged and they want to know what's going on. And so again, it's a combination of two things. Number one, we want to make sure that we have a powerful enough question that people want to watch it. And then two, we want to make sure that we're obsessed with retention. And so by having that B-roll, having engaging content, making sure you have the right question by testing different versions, then that is how you're going to see the best results. Now, if you're a contractor, you're like wondering, okay, what are the most important things? How do I apply this? The first thing is that you have to write down all of those different steps, or all the different questions that people would have if they worked with you. And so that would be the first thing that you'd want to do. The second thing is like start to obsess about retention. Pay attention to that. If you're making like over $2 million a year, like it's probably worth paying somebody to be obsessed with retention for you. Especially if each of these projects are worth, $50,000, $100,000, $200,000. It's worth having somebody who's obsessed about retention and can go into the analytics and find out how to do this most effectively. And so those would be the things that I'd recommend is, first of all, start off by focusing on the questions. You could use like this exact same format that I'm sharing with you. And then if you guys want more helpful tips, then like, let me know your questions. Like, I want to hear what questions, what answers you have. I have like 6 people who are going to watch this video probably. And so if like you want like your questions answered, then hit your questions below and send me your Instagram profile. I'm happy to go through and audit your video next, or your Instagram profile next, and go over some things that I consider. You also are welcome to follow me. I'm working on the content. I'm really good at content for contractors, and helping contractors get in front of homeowners, but I'm still figuring out exactly how it works for me. But I will share like the most valuable information that I'm learning on my profile as well. So follow me if that is something that would be helpful. Finally, I want to hit this audit and kind of show you some things that I would consider if I was this electric company. And if you are an electrician, you're running a company, like you're like, what do I post? What do I focus on? And there's something that's really interesting here. This video is doing really well as far as like the number of views. So we even just refreshing it, let's see. They got like another 1,000 views. And so it's being shown to a lot of people.
Your next opponent is you.
The thing that's concerning though is that it's not going to help them get more like views. It's not going to help them get more results. And that is the thing that I care the most about for contractors. Like, we want to make sure that they're actually getting more clients from each video that they post. I think this one was one that was designed to help with hiring more employees. So I'll watch this video, and there's some like very interesting things that you guys can learn from this video, and I'll point them out to you here in a second.
The thing I love most about this company is the constant support that we get from the owners. They treat us all equally. We're not numbers. They're treated us like family. Every Monday we get breakfast.
Okay, so like this is like an awesome video. Like the right concepts are here, but we want to make sure that this is like applicable to more people than just like anybody who's curious about Oahu Electric. We want to think about like all electricians. If they're trying to hire more, then we want to make it so that they could think about like, okay, like what questions should you have for the company that you work with if you're an electrician? Like that is a question that's going to be perform way better because it's applicable to tons of different people. When they're focusing on their story and saying Oahu Electric is so great because of X, Y, and Z, then people tend to zone out. And it's the same way if you're like talking with somebody in person. Like if they're always talking about themselves and never focused on you, then you just zone out. You're like, I don't care. And so this is like something that could be really good. It's like, okay, like what are the biggest things to look for if you're an electrician trying to find a job? and you talk about things, and that would get like 5 times, 10 times more views, especially if you have like B-roll or things behind it.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the baddest of them all?
And this is exactly like the same thing. So it's like a trendy video. It's got like the music, and like it got 1,000 people who watched it, but does it make anybody more likely to buy from you? Or if they're trying to hire more, does it make an electrician more likely to work with you? And if the answer is no, then that's probably not like where you should focus your time and energy as you're trying to create content. I'm actually not opposed to this. I think like being able to show some content and show some like social proof is super, super powerful. So by focusing on that, like I think that's a great thing to focus on. I might just have this at the beginning instead of like at the end, so people could see like all the reviews. One thing I love to do, and I do this with my reviews, so I like showing all my client wins, and so I'll have them all up here, and so anybody could go and see like all the wins, because that's what people care about, is they want to see like the reviews. You can have like some information about their services too. Let's see what they have here. Okay, the one problem with this is I don't think it answers like a ton of questions that homeowners have. Unless they were like, oh, mine looks like that, maybe they could do mine. Yeah, and so I think by focusing on the questions that homeowners have in these, like they're maybe like, do you do this? Like, what are the FAQs that homeowners would have? Now, this one was one that got 155,000 views. Like, that's great, right?
Brother, what's that?
And my concern, again, at the end of the day, like maybe like this is something for people in Hawaii. And if this is like a common occurrence for people in Hawaii, and they're like, okay, like mine looks like that, then like, okay, like that's way more likely to entice people to want to watch it. But otherwise, it's like, there's like, I don't know what I'm like looking at. It looks kind of gross, but it doesn't help me want to be more of a buyer. And so when you get hundreds of thousands of views where you're answering people's questions and adding value to people, then that's where you're really going to get the awesome results as far as social media and posting on social media. And so that's what I'd encourage you guys to look out for as you're creating content for your electrical companies, is think about these things and think about like, is my dream customer, the person I'm trying to work with, like, are they getting value from this? And are they more likely to work with me? And is trust built by watching this video? And that would be the thing that I would like consider most. Once you have that dream customer, then what are their questions? How do we make sure we answer it? And then once we're posting on social media, how do we make sure that we're testing to make sure that we're creating the best results?